Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. For those of you guys that are new here, welcome. And for those of you guys that are returning, welcome back. We are going to look at your inner child's message. What does your inner child want you to know right now? For those of you guys that have chosen pile 1, tune into the image that's right here. For those of you guys that chose pile 2, this is your image here. And for those of you guys that chose pile 3, this is your image here. All right, I will see you all back for your particular pick-a-pile. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your channel reading. We are going to be looking at what messages does your inner child want to say. You guys chose El Moray. Mora. And what I'm seeing in this masculine energy is strength, but a very stoic nature. I feel, pile 1, that you are in a position of leadership. You have leadership here. You can be in politics, you could be dealing with something around politics, but you are a person of authority. El Moray, number 1, is all about the beginning. It sets the energy, and you can tell by this picture, this level of strength that you're seeing here, that this is all about your inner strength. Your inner child has not had an opportunity to sit in the sadness, to sit in the anger, to actually be vulnerable. You've always had to be a leader. You may have had to take care of your siblings. You may have had to grow up. You may have lost a parent very early on. You may have missed elements of your childhood that has caused you to be more mature, more responsible. And your inner child is screaming at you to be vulnerable, that it is safe to be vulnerable, that it doesn't make you weak. Even this energy here that you see with this strong man, right? The stoic man that has a very strong, serious face. You're a very serious person. And you desire, your inner child desires the freedom to be childlike. The freedom to have freedom, to be able to express yourself the way that you've always wanted to, whether that's to cry, scream, shout. But you have seen tears as a weakness. You have seen vulnerability as a weakness, although you see those people in your lives and you think that they're brave. You wish you could be like that. But something has always stopped you from growing. Something may have happened at the ages of 9, 22, and 29. Those may be significant ages in your life. For some, this could even have been starting at the first year of life. You are meant to be vulnerable now. And that is your major guidance that your inner child is saying to you. You may have been blocked when you were 9. You may have been blocked when you were 22. You can't feel anything. Can't be vulnerable. Can't show your tears. That's a sign of weakness. You got to be strong. You got to be a leader. You got to show up for everybody. And you haven't had connections with people that are on a deeper level. And sometimes we look at people like, oh, it's surface level and it's their fault. But really it's because they're only matching the frequency that you're already exuding. The energies that we encounter in our lives with those that we meet along the way, our friendships, our relationships, even our family relationships and dynamics, they meet us at our wounded state. Wherever we're wounded at is the same frequency that is going to be mirrored back to us. And so if people are meeting you on a surface level, it's because you are showing up surface level. You're not allowing yourself to be deep. You're not allowing yourself to express yourself. And for some, there is an expression that is needed. There is an expression that you need to take leadership. For some, this is about relationships. Some of you guys may be holding back. This can be a block with somebody that you're connected to. We have the two dolphins, right? I love the dolphins. I say that all the time. So some of you guys I know are not really new to my channel. Some maybe, right? I may get lucky. Maybe like one new viewer, but most of you guys that view me are here. So you guys know I have a love for dolphins, right? And these two dolphins to me are about partnership, love, joy, okay? And they bring out my own inner child, but they bring a caring connection, friendships. They represent friendships, community. If you see the way the dolphins operate, they operate in a group, in a setting. And so right now, your inner child is saying to you, you desire to have close connections. Some with a romantic partner on a deep level. Deepening maybe the relationship that you're already in. Or opening your heart to a new connection, to new love. Or opening your heart to someone that you've been silent about, holding back from because of the idea of being vulnerable, right? Vulnerability is not easy for anybody, you know. There's a level to that, right? Of you taking off the mask and expressing yourself. For some, this can be expressing yourself around your family dynamics, right? Your partnerships, your friendships. This is about taking leadership. Not in your life generally, because that's already who you are. It's already what you represent. It's already in your DNA, your makeup. What is not there right now, what you are struggling with, is how can you be vulnerable? Some of you guys may feel you lack empathy. A lot of you guys went through your childhood where you couldn't be vulnerable. You did not have empathetic parents, right? I don't care about your feelings, okay? Sadness is a weakness. You're not allowed to be angry. You're not allowed to express yourself, okay? I just told a client the other day to book the rage room. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, book the rage room. We live in the same city. And so I said, hey, you know, I send a lot of my clients that are local to the rage room. If you have pent up anger and you're unable to be vulnerable, you're unable to be empathetic, right? And it's blocking your connection with yourself, your connection with others, and you are angry, and you are sad, and you want to scream, and you want to shout, go to the rage room. Let it unleash it. Rent the, what is it called? The sledgehammer, okay? You know, break some TVs and stuff, right? So your inner child is screaming for you to let out all of the emotions that are trapped, sadness and anger, okay? Being vulnerable enough to express yourself. The redness is all about the physical life. Right? You're already a leader in whatever role you're in, pile one. It's like you're already in leadership, right? That's like an innate ability to be in leadership, to set the stone. You may be Aries, okay? You may be a fire sign or have fire sign in your chart, all right? You may have been born in the month of September or April, all right? Or November, okay? Either way, you know, you definitely carry this element of being a person of authority, okay? There's something about politics here. Politics are, if you know, they lie, okay? You know, they want you to vote for them. They want you to, you know, they kind of spill you, you know, all of the wonderful things that they're going to do, and you don't see it. You voted for them, right? And so, you know, for a lot of you guys, you are in a place of authority, okay, right? And a lot of you guys may be wearing your mask, and what your inner child is needing for you to do is release it. The child nature, this is literally about friendship with, some of you guys communicate with animals, okay? If you do, trust that, all right? I know people think I'm crazy, but I do communicate, you know. One of the cats here talks to me all the time, very, very clearly. He's got great communication skills. And so very, very, very ancient soul. However, you know, some people here are like, okay, and then they're like, okay, there's some fertility energy, right? So there's an abundance coming. For some of you guys, there's a caring connection that is on the horizon. There's love, all right? Okay, so a new supportive relationship. This can be about friendships. This can be about just friendships with animals, okay? You know, some of you guys just maybe like getting another animal, right? Some of you guys may be animal rights activists, you know, whatever, I don't know, okay? But you're definitely getting a new support system in relationships, okay? There may be a kindred spirit for you guys as well, okay? That ignites your inner child, that makes you want to be vulnerable, all right? So, you know, however that resonates for you guys, but your inner child is asking for you guys to be vulnerable. So what is your inner child asking? How are they asking for you to heal that right now, okay? Emerald can be significant for you guys, a stone color emerald. Ceremonies and celebration. It's a time of important life passages such as weddings, birthdays, and graduations or anniversary. So I feel like what this is saying for you guys is to be in the moment, to celebrate yourself as well, okay? Celebrate your achievements, celebrate your wins, even if nobody knows about it. I feel like it's saying for you guys to enjoy. So if there's a celebration and they got a jumper, maybe get in it. You know, go jump around or something. We have the parrot spirit, watch your words, okay? And I feel like with the parrot, I feel like for some of you guys that this is, so, you know, some of you guys that are here, right? Because it's so hard for you to be vulnerable, that you may speak out of turn when you're angry or you're feeling a certain type of way. To hide your hurt feelings, to hide how you're really feeling. You may respond in a way that's not in kind, right? Because it does talk about here, I believe, no, it doesn't talk about there. What does it talk about? Here, no. Where did I see it? I don't know. Jesus, it must be all in my mind. Anyway, but this is, I feel, for you guys speaking words of kindness. Maybe the vulnerability and empathy is what I'm picking up on, is where that energy of being kind with yourself, but also being kind with others, because we have empathy here. So this is also about being empathetic to others as well, okay? So however this is resonating for you, for some of you guys, this could be that inner child wound where you speak out of turn. When you're angry and you're sad, you may yell, you may do certain things that you may regret later. And this is where your inner child is asking for you to observe yourself at this particular time, okay? And this could be around family functions or different things that may be very triggering to your inner child wound, all right? So this could be like, you didn't get a birthday celebration, but your siblings always do. They're always celebrating the birthdays, and here it is again, you know, and you get triggered and you start saying certain things, but it's because you have not been able to express yourself fully when you were a child, right? And so I feel like those of you guys that are in a sense of authority, it's easy for you to express yourself in that dynamic. That's where you feel safe. But when it comes to relationships with emotions, that's where you're lacking. That's where you're struggling. That's where it's hard for you to allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow people in, okay? So for some, this could be watch your words, all right? Because, you know, the parrot just speaks and speaks and speaks and repeats, you know? And for others of you guys, I feel like you're breaking out of no longer watching your words, okay? I feel for a lot of you guys that you were very much blocked or stunted, and I'm getting a very 9 pickup, 9 years old for some of you guys, 6 years old for some of you guys, very significantly, that there was something that blocked your voice, right? Whether that was a teacher, somebody that blocked your voice, okay? So Spirit is saying the way that you can heal that is by speaking your truth from the heart space, from the trueness of you. Forget about how anybody's feels and forget how it's received. You owe that to yourself, pile 1, all right? Share the message of love, boom. Daffodil. So for some of you guys, this is about being vulnerable within your relationship or significant relationship with somebody here, okay? Because again, we have this energy of love, kindred spirit, caring connections coming through. All right. For some of you guys, this is a romantic partnership. This can also be just about relationships as well. But for those of you guys that this is about romantic partnerships, this could be about being vulnerable with that particular person and sending a thing of love. Maybe they're like daffodils. Okay. And you know, I don't know. Rivers of love flow within you, and others may benefit from this healing energy. Be mindful of each word that passes your lips. Yeah. And this can also be about how you speak to yourself. Okay, pile 1. This can be about how you speak to yourself as well. But for those of you guys that are speaking maybe out of context or not very kind to others, right? This can be about where that inner child wound is coming from. It's because you were silenced. You weren't able to express yourself effectively. You weren't allowed to be vulnerable. You weren't allowed to, again, you know, be in your feelings. You had to rise above that. You had to let it go. You had to take care of business, whatever that was, right? You didn't have time to be a child. You didn't have time to enjoy that time in your life. And so there's a protection energy that is there for some of you guys. And so this is about being mindful of the words and you're speaking kind to yourself and others. Okay. And there, for some, this can also be about what is triggering that inner child one at this time, right? If you guys are around in the family dynamic and this is that party situation or that situation where you're seeing it, and here you have that energy of like, okay, I get triggered, right? But a lot of you guys, this can also be about how you speak to yourself, right? Okay. So I want to encourage you to sit with whatever age you're feeling this emotion or this energy and take some time to go in, feel the sadness, the anger, whatever is coming up for you, all right? Nobody's there. Nobody's going to see you cry. The only person that's going to know it is you, all right? Element of water is also very healing for those of you guys who are in power, one that have a hard time with releasing. Allowing the flow, allowing to let go. And sitting with that child energy that is here for you at whatever age, whatever time in your life, or whatever time this you could feel this into this energy that in this, if it's resonating with you, right? This reading. And really sit with that time and see how you felt when your voice was silenced. What did that bring for you? Did that bring sadness or anger? And were you allowed to express that? And I want you to give your child, your inner child, whatever age you are connecting to, and you close your eyes, you kind of go into meditative state, or you just flow and you just ask for your inner child, which one are you? Come to me, and they show up, okay? And it's one word, trust whatever comes in, however it comes in, all right? And, ask, what do you need? Or feel, what does your inner child need? Or know, what does your inner child need? Or hear, whatever it is, allow the message to come in. And then either allow your inner child to do that, to unleash, to cry or whatever, or allow yourself to do it with them. Let them know that they're safe to be vulnerable. Let them know that it's safe for them to be with you. Let them know that you're going to honor them this day moving forward, that you're going to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You're going to allow yourself to express your emotions effectively and truthfully. We have Wanderlust, living plus loving life on the run, okay? So again, having fun, all right, for some of you guys, like, it's going to be very healing, tapping into your inner child, doing the things that bring you joy, right? The things that bring you joy, okay? Also healing the throat chakra energy will be helpful for you, all right? Journal, write things down, get connected with water, all right? All right, so your closing message, pile 1, is the road is clear. You know what to do. Walk it your way, okay? So a lot of you guys know there's that leadership energy, right? What direction you want to take, where you want to go, how you want to express yourself. It's just this last element of allowing yourself to. And so your inner child is guiding you, right, on this beautiful journey to healing. This is healing a high heart energy. I love this. It's kind of like you're going into the orb, all right? So what this is also saying is, if you look, there's no mountains. Oh, I really like this. It's like you just came from, it's like they want to remind you that relationships that are unsatiated, that are not in alignment with you, as you're healing this inner child, you're going to be in alignment with more kindred spirits, more energies that are in alignment with you. And the path is clear. So there's nothing standing in the way from you moving forward but you, okay? And then we have everything changes. A soft light radiates from my heart. It illuminates those around me and transforms every situation I encounter. I maintain a positive attitude in spite of any difficulties I may perceive. No matter the circumstances, I remain a source of true joy. Everything changes when it is bathed in the light of the divine. Everything changes, okay? There's a lot of changes that are getting ready to come. A lot more alignment for you. You've had these difficulty times within your relationships, right? Again, they met you at that wounded state. And as you honor more of your true self, your true authentic self, which brings in a level of being vulnerable, right? It's going to bring beautiful changes. And the changes that are bringing it is an unblocked path. Okay? That's all I have for you, Power One. I hope you guys all enjoyed the reading. If you have, make sure if you have not, make sure that you have liked and subscribed to the channel for further update readings. I do book private sessions. My calendar is open. And I will see you next time. Trust the process and do trust the journey. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your channel reading. We are going to be taking a look at what does your inner child want you to know right now. What I want to say is picking up on your energy, coming into this energetic frequency, Pile 2. First off, this is your card that you did choose. Okay. This is the Phoenix card. Okay. This is representing the Phoenix energy. And the Phoenix energy is about burning away a lot. Relationships, jobs, old ways of thinking, outdated beliefs. It is a true death and rebirth cycle, right? There's power that is coming to you because you've been disempowered for so long. You struggle with anxiety. You've been struggling with anxiety. Maybe since you were young, okay? But this may have really started up in your 20s. So maybe your college years were significant, you know. I know college can, especially those who go to universities and different things like that and have like high achievers, you know, like I have to have an A, I have to have a B, you know. I was fine with just passing, you know, but anyway, that's a whole other story, you know, but there's a lot of people, my son, you know, he's 22 years old and he's always been a high achiever ever since he was young. And so, you know, when I would look at his papers, he was 99%, 100%, 98%. It was like he didn't get anything below 95%. And I was thinking like, and if he got 90%, that wasn't good enough. If he had an 88%, it wasn't good enough. And so he put a lot of pressure on himself, right? And so when we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, you know, we have that high achiever personality, okay? Because we got to achieve, we got to do this, right? So we put that pressure on ourselves. There's a breaking point that can happen. Right. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys, maybe in your 20s, all right, it could have been for some of you guys between the ages of 9 to 11, like that could have started, but maybe it was overlooked because most people back in the day overlooked anxiety. Or for some of you guys, you are diagnosed maybe, you know, early on in your years. But I feel like for the majority of the collective that's listening to this reading for Pile 2, you guys have anxiety start happening in your 20s. Could have been early 20s to your late 20s, okay? I feel like you guys are really smart people, like really, really smart people, like geniuses, high intelligent. You know, like I was just describing my son, there's probably a reason for that. I think some of you guys carry a fire sign energy as well. You carry fire in your chart, or a lot of air energy with a lot of this mental anguish that you kind of are suffering from or have suffered from for the most of your life. You're in your head a lot, okay? You've been in your head a lot. You overthink things. You rationalize things, right? You know, now look, and it's so funny. I'm looking at this card. I hadn't even looked at the cards or what they said. It says intelligence, mental action, right thinking, right? And so I feel like since you have been, you know, since you have been a child, okay, you have been a high achiever, all right? You put a lot of pressure on yourself, okay? You may have had fear over failure, okay? And that may produce a lot of anxiety for you. You may have fear over success, and that may produce a lot of anxiety for you. But again, you guys are very intelligent. I was getting that. Like this Pile, you're very intelligent. You're very smart. You may have gotten A's, straight A student. valedictorian, awards, recognition in some way, accolades of some kind. You may have, degrees behind your belt. You may be going back to school to, get a higher degree of education. You may be a teacher, okay? So you may be an instructor of some sort, all right? And so, but I feel for a lot of you guys hide the amount of anxiety that you guys kind of go through, okay? And one of the things that I mentioned with anxiety that I studied in psych was, this is not professional opinion, this is just something I studied, and I thought it was interesting because I always wondered why people had anxiety, because it's something I never suffer from. Panic attacks every now and then, yes, but anxiety was not something that I had experienced up until really recently. And what was I saying? Crap. That was a brain fart if I ever heard one. Oh, anxiety. It stems from unhealthy ways of dealing with our emotions. Okay. So it usually stems from those that do not express themselves effectively. So you may brush things off. Like that doesn't bother me, or I'm okay with that. And that you really are bothered. It really does affect you. And then, you suffer from anxiousness. You can not have expressed yourself. Just different things. It's like it's definitely dealing with your sacral chakra and stuff about emotions and expression. And so when we have that level of anxiety, or when we are suffering from anxiety, it's an unhealed and unhealthy way of dealing with the emotions. So drinking, smoking, whatever it is, avoidant, right? Not dealing with it, so that usually stems with anxiety. But I do feel for a lot of you guys, this is through fear. I do feel like you guys are advisors, or have always been advisors. I feel like you guys, again, it's really about other people. And I feel like that is all like burning away right now. And I feel like a lot of you guys are having a hard time, because I feel like a lot of these inner child wounds are showing up to tell you why you've been anxious, what fear has been holding you back, right? And so it may have been very hard. I do feel like for some of you guys, if you're spiritual, I feel like spirit is talking to you. I feel like you guys have had a connection with angels, or I'm getting mediums for some of you guys. So some of you guys are very spiritually gifted, okay? And so what this is burning away is to help your ascension, help your light body grow. So your inner child is what they're saying is you've always suffered from non-expression, okay? Holding yourself back and really following societal beliefs, right? Really like fear of what society would say if you didn't follow along, if you didn't follow with the crowd, if you didn't do what your parents said, if you didn't, follow what your friends said, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, right? And so there's a fear behind other people's thoughts about you, and as your child, as you grew up, you may not have realized how much power that you ended up giving away, right? And I feel like a lot of you guys start to become very affected by this. If you guys are in your 30s, I feel like you guys started to see things in your 30s, okay? Right? With people that you were around, all right? I do feel like for a lot of you guys that you started to wake up. You started to kind of see through some of the BS that was being presented to you. You've always played the hero, okay? Or the heroine, all right? You've always come to everybody's rescue, everybody's aid. You've always been that person, self-sacrificing. And again, that's where it is, that anxiety, that fear. You can't say no, right? It's hard for you to say no. It's hard for you to put yourself first, okay? And that is a struggle for you. And all of that right now is burning away. So some of you guys are just maybe very going through this dark night of the soul, this ascension process that could be very hard for you, right? But it's to clear out this energy that's just you're tied to. You're corded. You have all these ropes and corded to other people, okay? And it's because you've always been that person that has been there. Passion, you know what I'm saying? And for a lot of you guys, again, escapism and a false sense of heroism. So some of you guys, the shadow attribute, again, is about escaping. A lot of you guys have had some toxic behaviors that are around escaping, right? And this is that inner child wound. You avoid things. You escape through alcohol. You escape through smoking cigarettes. I do. Not alcohol, just cigarettes, okay? But that's another story. You escape through smoking maybe marijuana. You partake in that. Or drugs, right? Or you go to the gym, or you don't deal with your emotions, right? That's that anxiety, okay? That's the shadow aspect. That's that inner child wound, is escaping. It's a false narrative of, I'm actually doing good. I'm actually doing this, I'm actually healing, when you're not. You're just avoiding because you're not, reacting, or you're not, it's not bothering you, but it is. It is bothering you. And what you're doing is you're putting yourself up this mountain that you don't even need to be on, okay? And so, the pioneer, okay? The shadow attribute, compulsive need to keep moving on. Exactly. You don't give your time to grieve. So if you had a loss in your life, you didn't give yourself time to grieve through it. You just moved on. If you broke up with somebody, you move on. If you're in a relationship, you move on. You're in a job, you move on. Somebody says something to you, you move on. You don't like what somebody does or how your friend treats you, okay, you get mad, but then guess what? You do what? Move on. Okay? So you're not honoring yourself, and you haven't been. And that's the illusion, and that's what's falling away, is that you think that self-sacrificing was the way to go. You thought following, your friends, your family, or whatever, doing what they wanted to do was going to provide you with a sense of happiness, but it's only provided you with some fucking anxiety. Overwhelming sense of anxiety. You probably don't sleep, okay? You may be paralyzed in fear, all right? And this is because you've been living. You're tied and corded to a societal belief, and that's because of that inner child wound. You weren't given a chance to receive good advisement, okay? You weren't giving a chance where people were really honoring you. It was like you may have grown up in a family where everybody was a doctor, and you're going to be a doctor, and you wanted to be a lawyer, all right? You could have grown up in, you could have been in a relationship, a friendship dynamic where it has outlived its expiration date, but because of a sense of loyalty and obligation, you stay in a relationship, and it's producing some anxiety. You may be in a relationship with somebody that you don't want to be in anymore, afraid of how it's going to hurt their feelings, afraid of how it's going to affect them, afraid how it's going to upset them. So you avoid because you're in fear of the outcome. Paralyzing. But what happens? You're the one that suffers, pile two. Okay. Resourcefulness. Intelligence, mental action, right thinking, right? So this has always been you. You've always been resourceful. You provide resourcefulness for others. Again, the pioneer, the heroine, right? You may be the type of person that is a good Samaritan, maybe considered a good Samaritan, where you make sure that old lady gets, in the store, like, what do you need? You know what I mean? Somebody's flat tires outside. What do you need? You're very helpful. And I'm not saying that those are not great qualities about you, but I think that what you're seeing right now is, how has that been serving you? Your inner child is saying, how is that, what have you been giving us, right? So we're sitting in fear and anxiety, okay? See through it. You don't always finish what you start, and talk badly to yourself because of it. Didn't I say that you guys are hard on yourself, pile two? Self-critical, right? Break the karmic pattern by seeing a project through to the end, and then be proud of what you accomplished. And here's the thing. I don't feel like you guys suffer that. Some of you guys could be ADD, ADHD, okay? But I don't feel like, for those of you guys that are coming in, that this is about not seeing through something. I feel like you guys have seen through things, okay? That's why I feel like what this is really saying is that it's time for you to break the karmic pattern, and seeing maybe the projection that is coming up for you. You may have thought it was everybody else that's the problem, and your inner child is saying, no, it's me. We need to fix this. We need to heal this. We need to speak more kindly to ourselves. We need to stop being so hard on ourselves. We need to stop worrying about what other people think. We need to stop, because my mental energy is being affected. Your mental energy and your mental and your emotional body, pile two, is being affected right now. Your inner child is trying to tell you that. They're trying to tell you that you are being affected, okay, by this energy of overthinking. And for a lot of you guys, you're attached to something, a person, a situation, a fear, whatever it is, there's an attachment. I would encourage you guys to release that. Do some cord cutting, look at some meditations, and do some cord cutting rituals. Find some, look at it. You could do, there's plenty of different ways. You can find that on Google, okay? I also offer that in Reiki sessions. However, what I'm trying to say is something that you could do yourself is find the cord that you're attached to and remove it, all right? Most importantly, what your inner child is trying to scream at you is you need to deal with your emotions. You need to stop avoiding them. You need to listen to advice. If you're getting counseling, you need to listen. If you're talking to friends, you need to listen. There's something about listening, okay? Take an advisement maybe from somebody else that understands the journey. But your inner child is saying that you have been hard on yourself far too long. You've been hard on us. I want to say this. Your inner child is saying you have been hard on us. All right. You guys work as a team, right? So your inner child is saying that you have been hard on us for a long time, pile 2, right? You have been dishonoring yourself in ways within your relationships, within your job situations, within everything. You could be married, you could be in a committed relationship. This could be long-term friendships. All of these things. This is a tower energy, which means right now, pile 2, you are going through it, okay? You are going through it, and what is needing to fall away is this pioneer energy, this heroine energy, right? The shadow aspect that is attributed with that, okay? You know, you're learning to see through the things. You're finding more of the intelligence. You're seeing more about what you think about how you have been self-sabotaging, how you have been affecting your own journey, right? You've been living in fear, you've been living in anxiety, but that's nobody's fault. And I'm not saying, and what I'm saying in the sense of, it's up to you to deal with your emotions and your mental health, right? A lot of us get dealt a shitty hand, right? And I say it all the time. I think I got a shitty hand in this life, and I'm learning how to play to win. I'm playing to win no matter what hand I'm being dealt. My overall energy, my overall end game is to win. Whether I do or I don't, I refuse to take a lose, right? I refuse to lose. And don't be wrong, with the shitty hand that you're dealt, you're going to lose, right? But the momentum and the action of this fiery energy, that phoenix that lives within me, that comes out, is because I refuse to let whatever hand that I'm being dealt to hold me down, right? And that's what I feel is happening with you, pile 2, is that you are getting to a point in your life that no matter what hand you're being dealt, you're looking to win. And you already know that it's removing toxic relationships, it's removing toxic belief systems, it's moving the way that you think, the way that you've been programmed. Everything is falling away for you. You are having a spiritual ascension right now. So that dark night of the soul that you're going through, that ascension process that you're going through, it is to help you get into alignment with who you truly are, right? And to move away from all of these relationships and connections, right? That are not really truly serving you, okay, anymore. It once was, right? But what is causing you is fear, anxiety, right? Depression, mental anguish, mental anxiety, emotional depletion, okay, right? And so, you know, that's what's coming through. All right, let's go ahead and see what your guidance is on how you can what you can do to heal this, okay? And you know, one of the ways that you can is finding what age you were at. Some of you guys could have been 2, 11, 8, 26, 31, all right, 22, okay? You guys could have been 4. Definitely 4 energy for some of you guys. There's a feeling of being 4. So you may have just been like, where somebody told you, oh, you did such a good job helping, and you wanted to become a little helper, and you put so much pressure on you, right? There could be something very simple. When we think about 4, you're like, okay, well, how did I self-sabotage before and hold on to this? You guys would be amazed when we do inner child integrations, when we move into our inner child wounds, and we start to see the ages and what was affected, and how that has been affecting us our whole lives within our relationship with ourselves. It's quite amazing, right? So you may not think that it's 4, right? Where this energy may have taken place, where you enjoyed being smart, you enjoyed the accolades of somebody telling you that you were smart, and you start to maybe, you know, want to people please, right? You may have been the little helper kid where you help everybody out, the helper in class, right? And you liked that validation. But then you grew up and maybe they just become a lot of pressure for you. Okay. All right. Let's go into the healing portion. What can you do to heal? So we have appetite. All right. So that's a beautiful stone. Progress, not perfection. Don't compare yourself to others or judge yourself. Instead, focus upon how far you've come and all that you have learned. Look at that. Okay. I literally, and I promise you guys, when I pull all of these damn cards, because you see them, you guys see how many cards I pull, and these are all different decks. I do not look at them, okay? I literally just pop one, and I say what the theme is, and I, do all the things with spirit or whatever, to make sure that it's in alignment. And I get mad when spirit tries to give me the whole deck sometimes, but I'm literally not looking at the cards. The spirit usually almost always gives them to me downside, because spirit knows I prefer it that way. I like to channel energy. I like to channel my readings. I like to channel without the tools, without seeing certain things, so that I know what I'm feeling is what I'm actually feeling and picking up on. And I've been saying this time that you guys are the hardest on yourselves, right? You guys are hard on yourselves. And it's dealing around society, what people think. And it's just crazy, because this is what it says. Progress, not perfection, you guys. You don't need to compare yourself to others. You don't even need to judge yourself, right? Shit, society does that for us enough. We don't need to add to the fire. Instead, focus upon how far you have come and all that you have learned, all right? So again, this fear and anxiety, the appetite may help with fear and anxiety. And so look it up, see if it does, get the stone. If it helps with intuition, listening, being in alignment with giving advice, clear advisement, or listening or getting messages from spirit, this is probably also a good stone for you as well. But this is more or less to remind you guys, that one of the ways to heal this energy that you are dealing with right now is to remember that progress, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? It's one of the things I told my son. It's like, he's putting a lot of pressure. He's trying to graduate. I said, the other day, I said, baby, I said, I'm 45 now. I'm getting older. And I said, so when I was young, yeah. I said, and you putting a lot of pressure, I got it. I said, but most of the time we have things that are out of our control. And we put so much pressure on ourselves that we become overwhelmed with that. I said, so what, because he asked me all the time, Mom, how do you deal with our situation? I don't know how you do it. You make it look easy. You make it look effortless. And it's not for me. And I told him, I said, because there are certain things that are out of my control that may happen throughout the day. And yeah, I may get overwhelmed. It may feel a certain type of way. But I try to understand I can't control that. I cannot control this situation. So I do look at what can I control in the moment, right? What can I do in the moment? So it's not about the fact that there's no that there's perfection, because that doesn't happen, right? It's about the progress, right? And so your inner child wants you to say to yourself, look at all that you have done. Look at all that you have been through, all that you have endured, okay? Look at who you are as a person, your soul, the light that you bring to other people, the love that you bring to other people. You're a light bringer. You bring compassion. You ignite people's fire, right? With this, you have fiery energy in you. So I feel like you light people up. But I feel like your struggle has not been reflected to you, right? I feel like you are always doing for others. And I feel like that is not the case for you. So I feel like you're starting to see again through certain things, okay? All right, so we do have frog spirit. I love the frog spirit. Beautiful energy. You guys, this is about core cutting, okay? This is about removing energies. This is the initiation by fire. All right, this fiery energy is about fire, the phoenix, burning things away, purifying. You are getting truly purified. Your inner child is coming in to let you know that it's time to clear out the clutter. It's time to clear out the things that are standing in the way. And again, I feel like for a lot of you guys, right, the situation may have happened when you are in your 20s, okay? I love the frog spirit. When the frog spirit comes into my meditations and I see it on my path, one, I know that the frog is protecting me. It's clearing out any negative energies. So I appreciate the frog spirit for coming through. It also is a reminder that I need to clear other energies that are external in my life. So this could be spring cleaning. We are in this is timeless reading, but this can be around springtime where you need a spring clean. This could be getting rid of people, situations, job situations, whatever that looks like, okay? But you also have, this can also mean the cord cutting ritual, right? Cleaning the house, for some of you guys, cleaning house, but cord cutting rituals for some of you guys, okay? Definitely do a cord cutting ritual pile too. Your inner child is wanting you to clear out some cords that you are attached to, okay? Know that you are healed. We have the marigold flower. The healing you've prayed for is on its way, okay? So beautiful energy pile too, all right? So your inner child is also saying that there's a clearing. You see these two cards are all about clearing, right? So I feel like as you clear out this energy, as this energy is being purified, right? This is what I'm talking about, what's coming in for you, right? The healing is coming in, okay, for you. You're being healed, right? So the healing you've been praying for is on its way. It's just coming in this form, you know, fiery energy, okay? You know, you've been praying to see people for who they are, it's coming in. If you've been praying to get out of your head, it's coming in. If you're praying for help, it's coming in, all right? We do have, interesting, we have the moonshine, homemade, and illumination, all right? So homemade and illumination, we have moonshine. And for some of you guys, this is, you know, this could be the addiction, the avoidant, the escapism that we were talking about, right? Okay. And so for some of you guys, this can be about moving away from man-made substances, all right? Because the moonshine is, well, I mean, it's homemade. It is man-made, but it's more homemade based. So maybe moving away from factory-based situations, okay? Because moonshines are like handmade. You may be a moonshine grower, or you may build beers or something like that, right? My cousin she does her own brewery in her home, right? So she brews her own beer. We like a certain type of light beer, so she brews her own beer, which I think is super cool, right? So you could brew your own drinks or whatever, and this could be where your inner child's saying for you to focus on that. For some of you guys, I got that. I don't know who this is, but somebody here may be making alcohol in some way, okay? And this is something that's illuminating for you at this particular time as well. For some reason, there's an illumination coming in with this energy. Okay, American mixed born, let me see. Moonshine original. You may be a patriot. I don't know. I don't even know what would the inner child bring this in. What is the inner child trying to say with the moonshine? Let's see. Yeah, some of you, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys need a drink. I'm joking. Full moon. 444 is, again, there's the fours. Something is around the fours. Some of you guys may be born in the month of April, all right, or maybe born on the 4th day, okay? Full moon, subconscious awakening. There we go. Full moon energy is coming through, right? So there's a lot of healing that comes up during the full moon time for some of you guys, all right? There's a lot of healing that comes up during the full moon. There's a subconscious awareness, again, that's awakening within you on this spiritual journey. So, you know, allow the emotions to kind of flow in, all right? You know, allow things to kind of unfold, the purification, the falling away. This energy here, this initiation by fire, what it's representing, if what spirit is asking for you to let go of or what is trying to fall away, listen, you guys, you are guided to let it go. This initiation by fire is a no joke flame, okay? So it can bring up fear and anxiety just because you're told to let it go. This is subconscious awakening is happening around certain things that you're needing to detach from, okay? That's holding you back. This heroism, hero energy, the great pioneer, being there for everybody else. This is where Spirit's saying it's not alignment for you, Pal 2. All right? It's over, it's done with. Okay, so let's get Spirit's messages for you. You know, it's time for you to detach, time for you to break free. It's time for you to see past the illusion. And again, there's an illumination that's coming in with this energy, all right? I do feel like your inner child is saying there's an illumination as you detach, as you break the cords, as you continue to purify this energy, you're going to see exactly what it is that you're needing to see, all right? And again, this is for a lot of you guys, could be avoidant, you know, not really wanting to deal with your emotions, and here it's coming in. It's like, I got to deal with my emotions, all right? So we have the sweet waters. sensuality, romance, enjoyment, fertility, and balance. So this is Empress energy to me, divine feminine energy. So this is about nurturing yourself, okay? The fire and water element is opposites as well, okay? But both of these elements are about purification. They both represent purification. The element of water is more flowy. It's more, you know, like when you take a shower, you feel good. The fire element is more fiery. You're going to burn. You know, it is going to be uncomfortable when you are burning and purifying from the fire element, right? For others of you guys, this can be about the flow energy and allowing the flow to happen. For others of you guys, this can be as you're burning away and letting go of fear, doubt, all those things in your clearing house. If you're asking about love and romance and true love or all, you know, all that beautiful stuff, this is saying, yeah, it's coming in. Okay. For others of you guys, it's about getting sensual, getting romantic with yourself, you know. Some of you guys can be very fertile at this time as well. Okay. So fertility, you know, some of you guys could be getting pregnant, all right, you know, having a baby. Some of you guys could be rebirthing yourself, all right. Romance could be coming in, enjoyment, okay. Your spirit messages, I welcome life as its present self. I welcome life as it let me repeat that. This is so weird. I welcome life as it presents itself to me. There we go. Whew. Today I take each step on my path to fulfillment with good faith. I swim easily with the flow of life. I embrace all experiences the universe bestows on me, even those that may prove challenging. I know all will fall into a place for a greater good. Okay. And I am free. Beautiful ending. Freedom, you guys. This is what is happening, right? In your life is you are being free, set free. Okay? It may be a painful process. It may be a long process with the fire energy, but this is what's happening. Today, I find the veil of my ego as lifted and a vision of my new life has appeared. It is happening. This is what is happening, okay? So your inner child, the Spirit's messages is as you are healing this inner child, as you are fully letting go, right? It is allowing you to be free of society, be free of those relationships, be free of that job, be free of what people think. Freedom. All right. Now I am focused on my inner growth. I listen only to the voice of my heart and remain steadfast in the energy of love that I find there. I am now free of duality, fear of, listen to this, and this is your affirmation, pile 2. I am now free of duality, fear, and judgment. And I move forward on my path to inner peace. Welcome this new energy instead of trying to resist it, pile 2. I'm going to read that one more time because this is your whole entire reading. Okay. Today I find the veil of my ego has lifted and a vision of my new life has appeared before you. Now I am focused on my inner growth. I listen only to the voice of my heart and remain steadfast in the energy of love that I find there. I only listen to the energy of my heart. I only listen to the energy of my heart. Hear that again. You are only guided to listen to the energy of your heart, not of your mind. Pile 2. I am now free of duality, fear, and judgment. And I move forward on my path to inner peace. Boom. That is your reading, pile 2. If you guys have all liked this reading so far, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so already, to be further notified, I do offer private sessions in my reading. Until the next time, pile 2. Trust the process and do trust the journey. Bye now. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your channel reading. We are going to be looking at your inner child. What does your inner child want you to know right now? Pile 3. You were the only one that pulled the feminine energy card, which is really interesting because pile 1 and pile 2 had more masculine energy in them. And this one represents the feminine energy, the mother. Lady Nada is all about unconditional love, like Mother Mary, okay, that some people may represent with that. But this is about unconditional love for self, all right? And that is very hard for you, pile 3. You've had to struggle with that. Some of you guys may have lost a mom at a very young age, where you've had to mother yourself. Some of you guys may have had issues with a mother who wasn't around, who maybe had not been very nurturing, very giving, and that could have affected you in some way. I feel like it affected you a great deal. I feel like a lot of you guys, pile 3, feel lonely. I feel like there's a lonely energy to you. I feel like you have had a lot of loss. I feel like you have been maybe a mother to your friends, families, which means you may have had to raise your siblings. But you exude this amount of love, okay? You exude this amount of unconditional love. And I feel like your inner child did not receive the nurturing part of you. I feel like that is what's missing. So instead you give it, right? You know what it's like to not have anybody. You know what it's like to feel alone. You know what it's like to need a hug. So you give it. And you give it so freely, so abundantly. And that is not being returned to you. Maybe in some ways. But in others, it feels like it's just not being, it's just falling short. You pour into everybody else. And I feel like your inner child is saying, it's my turn. When are you going to pour into me? When are you going to love me? When are you going to see me? Hold me? Nurture me? Guide me? You do it for everybody else. When are you going to look at me and give me that same love? Give me that same need and desire that I need from you, that nurturing spirit, the patience, the unconditional love, the joy. But instead, I give myself exactly what I received from everybody else who was supposed to nurture me, who was supposed to show up for me. So I mirror that energy onto myself, which is lacking. It's lacking. Your inner child is screaming for you to love them unconditionally. Love your body, your voice, your hair, your skin, your face, your feet, your ears, your eyes, your lips. I know I struggled with that for most of my life, right? So love everything about you. Your inner child needs you to start loving you the way that you so freely love everybody else. I feel for a lot of you guys, you definitely either meditate, but some of you guys meditate too much. Okay, that is a form of escapism now. All right, so you're escaping in meditation, and we do that. I'll give you an example. I had an incident where I used to go to meditation classes all the time because I would fly high. Oh, I love to fly high. I would feel this divine connection, right? This love, unconditional love and spirit, because I did not feel it here. This here were rejecting me. My people here were rejecting me, right? They weren't giving me love. They weren't accepting me for who I am. So in spirit, my angels, my spirit guides, the spirit animals, right? They loved Dendra, you know, they loved me, right? They accepted me as is. And that was big for me. And so I was at a sound bath one night and I flew so high, right? That class had been over. Usually I come back or whatever. And class had ended. And I was with my niece at this time. And class had ended and they could not wake me up. But I was not in my body. And I knew when I returned to my body because immediately I felt this connection within my body. So the instructor talked to me about that because I went to her class all the time. And I said, and she had to bring me back. She had to go in. She does shamanic practices. She had to go in. She knew what was going on. She had to go in and literally bring me back and guide me back into my body because I was flying too high. I was escaping. And she asked me, she said, Dendra, I really need you to sit down. I really need you to think about, why do you enjoy meditating? I said, I don't need to think about it. I know exactly why I enjoy meditating. I know exactly why I keep coming to these classes. And I was missing the point of the healing. I was doing spiritual bypassing without even knowing it, right? Because I just loved the flying. And she said, this is a form of escapism. And I said, what? Like, this is spirituality. How is this a form of escapism? Like, flying. Because I was refusing to actually deal with my problem with myself. Okay? So I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is a form of escapism, meditating. And this is where it has gotten to, is where you are escaping. For others of you guys, you are meant to either lead or guide meditation to others, okay, to help. I do feel like a lot of you guys is where your passion is at, okay? You do have Archangel Michael coming through. So again, I feel like a lot of you guys are very connected to the angels, all right? Mary Magdalene, Ascended Master energy, strength, courage, letting go. Love the sword of conviction. Your inner child wounds could have started between the ages of 9, okay, to 11. For some at the age of 6. But I do feel like maybe your loss was 9, 10, all right? Okay. I feel like your inner child is asking for you to stop being so strong, stop being so giving, and start giving yourself the same love and care that you give so freely to others. Be present, okay? You are ungrounded and spinning. Oh my God, I'm telling you guys, this is crazy. Be present. Be present in the moment. You are ungrounded and spending too much time in your head, in the ethers, okay? Something has caused you to retreat to your mind to escape. It's time to bring consciousness to it so you can resolve it and start living a life more fully. I mean, I cannot express this enough. All right, you guys are escaping. There is escapism here, but it's through meditation. All right? And so you guys are guided to let go and be in the present moment. We cannot change the past. We cannot, change the past. We do not know what tomorrow will bring. I mean, I can tell you, I wake up in the morning and I think this is what my day is going to be like, and boom, Spirit's got something else in store for me. A flat tire, an accident, the car breaking down, one of the kids being sick, right? These are all things that happen the next day. And I could be at the massage. My whole idea is I'm going to go to the spa, and boom, one of the kids is sick. And they weren't sick when they left this damn house, but they sure are sick at school, right? So what I'm trying to say to you is that we have no control over tomorrow, and we cannot change the past. Right? Oh, okay. So it is about letting go, healing, okay? Be present, be in the moment, get rid of this this energy of escapism. It's not serving you, pile 3, right? The idea of escapism is not serving you for a reason. Okay, so pile 3. Overall, I feel like this energy is all about self-love. Some of you guys may be rebelling against like some of you guys may have mother wounds, all right? Maybe not dealing with your mother wounds. Like you may have issues with your mom, right? But you don't want to say that because your mom was the one that showed up for you. But your mom was also one that may have produced wounds, okay? And that's, that does happen. on this healing journey is like, I have issues with my mom, but my mom was the only one that was there for me. My dad wasn't there, but my mom is a narcissist, or my mom doesn't, she's not very nurturing. She's not very loving. She body shames me. She makes me feel like crap, right? But she was the only one there for me. So, I really don't have any issues, but you do, okay? So there is something about some of you guys that are refusing to look at the mom as being the one that's holding the wound. The one that may be causing the wound. The wound that is associated with the lack of self-love. The lack of unconditional love. Okay? So I feel like for some of you guys, there's this rebellion energy. Some of you guys could have had a very rebellious mom. All right? She could have just been like young, didn't want to grow up. That can be an issue for some of you guys. All right? And for others of you guys, you may be struggling right now with wanting to be a mom. If you're a mom, you may be struggling like, I want to get out. I want to go rent a convertible and just take the top down and never come back. Okay? Trust me, you're not alone in that thought. We've all been there. And so I just want to go on a hammock. I want to be left alone, right? I don't want my kids to bother me. I want to take some me time. So I encourage pile 3, as you're moving through your inner child energies and moving through these mother wounds that are coming up for you, that are needing to be healed. One, totally nurture yourself and guide yourself. But can you please book a soul date for yourself once a week and make yourself a priority? Can you start to make a ritual of that where you are a priority? Get your nails done, get your feet done for the ladies, even for the men, get a massage, go to the beach, go to the lake, go hiking, take archery, take a cooking class, do a dancing class, take art and paint. Do something that brings you some passion, some purpose, and happiness, okay? Because I feel like you have passion. You know what your passion and purpose is: helping people, being of service to people, being a natural healer, right? But your passion and your purpose is also stunted with that same energy because you give too much. So you're depleting because you're not pouring it back into yourself. All right, pile 3. So let's go ahead and see how you guys can, what your inner child is saying for healing energy. So we have rondo crystite. All right, that's a pretty stone. It's nice and red, a lot of crowns, gold energy. So I feel a lot of crown chakra. And you guys are connected to the divine. All right, I want to say that you guys are connected to the divine mother or the divine father or both. Okay, but you guys are very, very connected to the divine. You guys are star seeds. You guys are higher vibration. You guys have been working on this. But what is coming up is you guys are not trying to deal with whatever mother wound this is. And again, this could be surrounding around just loving yourself, nurturing yourself, holding yourself in grace, being there for yourself, okay? A lot of you guys are doing some sort of escapism here, and it's through meditation. For others of you guys, you may be guided to meditate to help heal that energy, okay? Be gentle with yourself, pile 3. You've been through a lot and need time to heal and recover, right? So again, some of you guys, I feel like you guys had a loss. And maybe you guys just did not heal, okay? Something else that your spirit guides want you to know, the koi fish spirit. Some of you guys may like koi fish. They're really beautiful in ponds. Koi fish, there is always enough. Right? There is always enough. Remember, there is always enough of love. Always enough love to give to yourself. Always enough love to go around. But in your childhood, love may have been very scarce, pile 3. The love that you did not receive in your childhood was very, very scarce. And that's why you give it so much, but you're also afraid that nobody can love you or give you the love that you deserve. It's time to uplift your thoughts. We have the orange lily. Focus your attention on the many blessings that surround you. By doing so, you let go of depression, poor self-esteem, and excessive weight. Some of you guys could be dealing with your emotions, okay? Excessive emotions, all right? Overeating, undereating, okay? Those are stressors dealing with your sacral chakra, your feminine energy. Doesn't matter if you guys are masculine or feminine, your feminine energy, your mother wounds are coming online. And this is a part of your soul purpose. This is part of something you're supposed to get into alignment with, right? Okay? This is really about not being hard on yourself. It's really about nurturing yourself, loving yourself, making yourself a priority. Giving the love to yourself that you did not get from your mom, okay? Like giving the love that you would give to your child, to yourself, right? If you, and some of you guys may not, like, I don't have any kids. What does that look like? Well, however that looks to you, right? You know, what is it that you're desiring? So your inner child is speaking to you, whatever it was. If you had a loss, you know, if your mom wasn't there, whatever the wound is, sit with yourself, pile 3, and ask yourself, what age did I feel this loss? Sometimes it may not even be when the mom lost. It could be the loss of innocence, all right? And the loss of innocence can be you had to grow up. You realize that life wasn't this bubble, magical bubble. There was a reality behind it that your parents had said, you don't want to grow up, right? The illusion faded, whatever that can look like. It can bring in a level of depression, right? But what did that look like? And I want you to go into, how do you feel? Do you feel alone? Do you feel abandoned? Do you feel rejected? And when you can feel into that energy of that shadow element, that inner child that is needing that healing, then ask your inner child, what do you need from me? What can I give you? Feel, see, hear into that energy and give it to yourself freely. The love, whether that's bringing your inner child into an embrace and holding them, letting them know that they've been seen, telling them all the things that they need to hear, letting them know that they're not alone, that they are loved, they are worthy, letting them know that they are special and unique, letting them know that they are held, they're safe. What is it that you need to hear? Evil eye, protection and jealousy. Okay. You guys need to put that evil eye up. There's some people around you that are not for you. Okay. This can also be you, right? But the evil eye is all about protection. Okay. Some of you guys maybe need to be protected from your mom. Right. There can also just be a feminine energy in your energy field that presents themselves as a mother, or as a nurturer that you carry a wound with or for. Okay. All right, let's see what Spirit's message is. We have open. Say yes. Expand through the extremes. Trust in life. Okay, so say yes. Okay, say yes. And then we have self-love. Wow. Wow. There's an ascension energy, DNA activation that's definitely happening with you. Orbs are really here. Archangel Michael is really with you, protecting you as well. Okay? There's a protection energy that's here with Archangel Michael. Some of you guys may be needing protection because of how much you guys are going into meditation and going too far up. Okay? You need to be, and if you are doing this, I hope you guys are protecting, doing the journey work in a safe way. Okay, there's safe ways to do our journey work. When we just go into meditation, half cocked. All right, we pick up on energies. We're not safe. We're not grounded, and we are not protected. All right, self-love. Today, I love myself fully. I accept myself exactly as I am. I am able to recognize my own divinity and to appreciate the purity of my soul. Wow. I take the time to care for myself. I enjoy myself. I nourish myself. I am kind to myself. I am grateful for who I am. Look at that, pile 3. What a beautiful closing. That this is exactly what your energy, your inner child is talking about. You loving yourself, the self-love that is here, the unconditional love that you need to have for yourself. Your inner child is asking, when is it my turn? When do I get to feel the self-love, the unconditional love that you give to everybody else? Your inner child is asking for you to love them the same way you love everybody else, pile 3. The path of light. Beautiful card. There's an ascension energy that's here. You guys are very connected to, again, spirit. Life places the perfect people and situations on my path to help me advance on my journey of my inner growth. I possess the courage I need to progress, despite any obstacles I might meet. I study my experiences, seeking the wisdom they have to offer. In this way, I improve from day to day. Today, I choose to grow in faith, and I'm confident that at the end of my road, I will join the light. Okay? Because you are the light. You're walking the path to the light. Look at all this gold energy. You're standing in with spirit, right? So it's just you now pouring into yourself. You're already ascended. You're already beautiful. You're already this divine love frequency. And you can be this on a high vibration. Usually what's missing, you guys, is the love that we give to everybody else needs to be given back to ourselves, because you are worthy of that. You are deserving of that. All right, that's all I have for you, pile 3. If you guys all enjoyed the reading, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I do offer private sessions. If you are guided or interested, please go ahead and book a private session with me. Feel free to follow me on all my socials. Trust the process and trust the journey, and I will see you guys all next time.